Hello, welcome back. My name is Deb, and I'm a human trying to help other people be human, sharing my experiences to help you give confidence in your experiences. My head is echoing right now. Have you ever been on a phone call and you're like, hey, just call me right back, it's a bad connection? Well, that's going on right now, so bear with me on there. Again, I hit record, I ramble, I don't like to do edits. It takes the authenticity out of it. It takes context for the flow of just showing how the brain leads from one subject to another subject. I rarely know what I'm going to be talking about when I hit record, and even if I do think that I know what I'm going to be talking about, it's usually not what I'm going to be talking about. So I don't title them or caption them until afterwards. Sometimes they actually have a subject and sometimes they don't have a subject. So here we go. Confidence has been a subject lately. I would like to say one of the other situations that helped gain confidence was through, where do I want to start? Minimalism. Realizing that you can live with less, you don't need as much, you have more resources. Also, I was trying to have more resources for experiences versus things. And through that process, I learned how much energy, everything is energy. Everything is energy. Everything that you're feeling is energy. Everything that you're thinking is energy. And these objects around us, they themselves are energy, and not even just the molecules of them moving fast or slow for their types of textures and things, but the way that you acquired that item is going to have a memory attached to it. The lifestyle that you had when that item came into your life, or the chapters of your life that that item has survived, and or maybe who gifted you something. All these things have energy behind them, even if you think that they don't. If you're like, no, that's really just a potato pillar or something, or you have 200 pencils. I don't know. The point is, like, why are you holding on to things? I know a lot of the times there's different spectrums. Some people feel a sense of lack that if they get rid of it, they will have to spend more resources when they need it again. And other people, I mean, they would view it as a waste, like they're not getting anything back out of it by giving it to the thrift store or donating it. You don't want to be wasteful by just trashing everything, because then that's a strain on the environment. And then you also feel bad for these things that's just like trash, but like it's sometimes it feels wrong to just give it to the trash. Like, where's it going? That has to go somewhere, and now it's my fault that like that existed into existence. So minimalism is a very nice challenge for yourself to begin with evaluating how intentional you are with your life. With that minimalism, after you do the things, look at the other energy, minimalism. What are you ingesting and consuming on a daily basis with your sight and your ears? Are you, especially now with so much political stuff happening and the way TV is, like television is great, right? Without TV, I wouldn't be able to sit here and talk to you and express myself like this and spread this message. Like, everything it can be used as a tool. And there's many people that unfortunately are subconsciously being used with someone else is using TV as a tool to take away your your intentionality with your life, right? I stopped watching TV probably, really close to a decade ago. There might have been some movies, and then even after, movies were very rare, and it was just, the once a week family thing. And then I found YouTube, and through YouTube, I found People Are Awesome videos, and honestly, that was kind of a start of like a wings, like what's a wingsuit, or what is this person doing flying through the mountains? And that stuff was really cool, and that set off its own trajectory for things. So then when I would come across new people, new connections, and I'm around people that watch TV, and then so I watch TV, I would notice that when I would sleep or even the next day, my brain was being implanted and having those thoughts going on. I'm someone who meditates. I'm someone who's constantly listening to podcasts and reading books and definitely overthinking and trying not to have anxiety of how I can improve myself, because I always want to be bigger, better, whatever, but also trying to like figure, I'm always broken and healing. Like, no, we're perfect and we're enough and we are how we are. But I noticed that stuff sticks inside your brain and your brain gets stuck on repeat. The brain is just a tool. It doesn't know any better. It's not as connected to your soul as you think it is. You have to train it to be connected to your soul. You have to train yourself to know how to watch for the small synchronistical magical moments that literally guide you from step to step. Not only do you have to watch for them, but then you have to listen to them. And that's where the confidence comes in. I am a hoarder and I am awful with clutter because I grew up with a scarcity mindset and I don't want to have to buy something again, and I feel like it's just a waste of throwing money away for me to throw things away or give them to wabi sabi. Like, those are some beliefs and mindsets that I have to change for myself, but those definitely translate into my relationships with society and people that I have felt scarce, and I hold on to bare minimum when, like, they say you gotta let go of something to allow something else to come in. It's very real. If you're not happy with where your life is right now, don't try to add more. Don't try to add a new workout routine per se. I mean, do, but like, if you're going to add something more into your life, make sure you're taking something out first. I haven't talked to an average person for a while because I live in this weird anomaly, middle of the desert, where a lot of people live intentionally, and if you aren't living intentionally, it just kind of spits you right back out to the city, because that's where a lot of people are able to function. So I haven't talked to a person who does not live intentionally in a while, and so maybe I'm disconnected as far as how much there is that can really be altered to help get you on the right path. Like, there is it doesn't matter what stage you're at. You could be less than paycheck to paycheck, completely under in debt, and maybe your social circle is not the healthiest and you know that, or you could be completely well off, never having to look at any totals. Just if you want it, you can have it, and you can plan whatever you want to do that's going to benefit yourself, hopefully others also. And it doesn't matter where you're at, because we're human. There's always going to be something that we can subtract and add from. Like, the universe, people like to say, is based off mathematical equations in a sense, and we're no different. Before you try to add something, maybe see what you can take away. Usually because we have a lot of programming and beliefs and patterns and habits that don't serve us. And there's definitely moments where I've like felt, okay, I've won, like, what next? And then God shows me what's next. I definitely get knocked down 2 to 3 steps, and then you go through again, and you learn again, and you rebuild again. It's wonderful. Minimalism, decluttering. I have had conversations with people that have, in vulnerability, not that they've shared information with me, not in a gossiping type of way, but in a vulnerable kind of way, of their opinion of someone and how maybe they don't necessarily like the opinions of that person. But I'll notice that they follow that person or are friends with that person on Facebook. And to me, if you are aware enough to know that you don't like that, but you're not living intentionally enough to remove that from your diet, from your energy system, then what is that doing to you? Is that going to gain, is that going to help you build confidence? Or is that kind of like the enemy keeping a watchful eye on their enemy? When like, there should never really be an enemy. You shouldn't, like, I don't like to say should, but if you're watching someone because you don't like them and you want to see how much they're failing or for any reason, and like if you just don't vibe with them, why are you sending energy that direction? Because anything you give your attention to is literally sending energy through it. Just as I'm here in front of this camera and the camera is absorbing everything, you're feeling my energy. I'm noticing if I don't hold my cup, I talk with my hands a lot. This is what's great about videos, is you get to learn a lot about yourself. One human to another human, you want to learn about yourself, just start recording yourself doing verbal journals. You don't have to share them with others, but rewatch them. Rewatch them with sound, rewatch them without sound, listen to them without the visuals. Like, you learn a lot about yourself. So when we talk about decluttering and minimalism, it is everything. It is your diet. It is your social media. It is, oh, here's one. Like, I think Utah has had it for a while that you can't necessarily access the corn pea sites. And I mean, like, yes, I am someone who has watched that, and there have been times where it's probably been more so than others, but also I don't feel like it ever affected me negatively because I was still wonderful and vibrant in my own personal life. So as long as you're having fun in your own personal life and you don't have any negative side effects, like, you would think that everything's fine, right? And then so Utah did this thing, and so it hasn't been easy. Yes, there's ways around it, but am I going to go through the effort to find ways around it for that? Do I need that as entertainment? I absolutely do not. Like, I turn on a selfie camera. I'm doing just fine. Like, and not having that, or, you know, I mean, if you do have that and your normal life, you're not vibrant and you feel like you don't have the connections that you want in real life and you're watching corn, that's probably why. Or, okay, for the people that I follow on Instagram, not one of them is, I follow this person for sexual attraction. Not one of them is, this person looks nice. Not one of them is like, oh my gosh, they're so passionate about life and I just like, oh, that just turns me on so much, so I follow them. Not one person that I follow on Instagram is any of those lustful things. And so go through your follower count. How much is just going through your brain, programming you to like or dislike something, creating algorithms in your brain that's going to destroy your relationships. It's going to destroy your connections. It's going to destroy your ability to understand real life. And maybe it won't. Maybe it will inspire you. But that's the question you got to ask yourself when it comes to decluttering. Is the stuff that is in your life inspiring you or harming you? Is it allowing you to continue to grow, or is it something that I mean, if that's where you're at and that's what you like, that's great. You know, if it is inspiring you and you feel like you're a better person for having that, I support that, right? As long as it's making you a better person. But if there's signs in your life that certain things don't add energy to, then maybe it's time to cut that thing out. I know I tag self-help, and I talk about health. Maybe I don't talk about health. I think about health. I've been through health things. I think that's it, you know, just when it comes to minimalizing and decluttering and energy, pay attention to more than just the things around you. Pay attention to the people around you. Go through your social media, your subscriptions, your home page preferences. Go through all of that because you are leaking energy. I guarantee you, you will find things you probably don't even remember clicking the follow button on. And maybe it's gotten so overwhelming. You're like, I follow 2,000 accounts. I'm not going to go through 2,000 accounts and unfollow 2,000 accounts. Well, do you want to improve? Do you want to call your energy back to you? Do you want to call your energy back to you? It is worth your time to go through those accounts and get your energy back. And as you go through and click unfollow on things that no longer resonate with you, you will gain a sense of self-respect, self-knowing. You're like, I know that I don't want to follow this person anymore. And you took initiative to do that intentionally, and that's how you build confidence. By living life intentionally. Knowing what you want to allow in your life and what not. Are you going to allow energy to be seeped out into the void through social media because you don't have time to click unfollow, even though you're sitting there scrolling through it all the whole time anyways? That scrolling could be you scrolling through your followers, cleaning that up. And I recently did that through mine, and I unfollowed a lot of people that were actually just friends, and that's out of my own mental health issues because like everyone is living a life that was a goal that I haven't reached yet because I had to shift priorities, and a lot of it really was like too much FOMO. And it's not just FOMO, it's because the world that I have inserted myself into is the most genuine, authentic, intentional living set of human beings that I have met, and I absolutely love them and adore them to death. And we're just at different stages. I have different priorities, and so it's really hard to balance and juggle it all. So if you took any offense to me unfollowing you, which I know many of you did, I am deeply sorry. As you can tell. Don't declutter the good people out of your life. Remember that. Don't accidentally declutter the good people in your life. Okay, well, I guess it's not a good video unless it brings some tears. Today marks 1 month of a very life-changing event for me. So if you've noticed the change in social media posts, today marks 1 month. And it's Friendship Friday, part of the 7 golden tickets to a life of wellness. I have already reached out to several people, let them just share some gratitude, some appreciation and love. And I've shared something vulnerable with all of you, whoever you are. Usually there's at least one person that this was meant for. They were able to get something from. And I know one person means many because it only radiates out. I'm in the center of my own mandala, radiating out the things that I can. There was a thing on Friendship Friday about acts of kindness. My coworker's making cookies, and if he forgets or runs out of time, one day he'll bring in cookies. And I've had his cheesecake. It's amazing. So I'm off to start my day. Cheers to yours. Happy weekend.